Welcome everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today we're doing something a little bit different. As we are fast approaching Christmas as I record this, I thought let's have a look at how much I've spent on iRacing since I've been on the platform. And now that is just over 3 years. I joined back in 2018, but really properly got into sim racing in 2019. Now, some of you may be getting your first sim rig or sim wheel this Christmas, and you've been wanting to join iRacing and just curious at how much it does cost. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, there's a reason why iRacing gets a little bit of a bad rep in regards to that it's so expensive. But there is a method behind the madness, which we'll discuss at the end, because I always think that something is worth paying money for if you're going to get a considerable amount of enjoyment out of it, and the amount of time of enjoyment you're going to get from it as well. It's not just spending $50, £50, and then you've completed a game in 2 days. This is something that you spend considerable amount of hours on throughout a month, or most people do anyway. I definitely do, and I feel like I do get my money's worth. But I've broken everything down, I've been into my Excel spreadsheets, and we're going to have a look at how much I spent per year, what I've spent the money on, and yeah, just see for you guys, or show you guys exactly how much in the last 3 years I've spent. It's a little bit of an eye-opener, to say the least. So remember to hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Turn those notifications on, and yeah, let's head into this. So guys, before we do actually just head straight into these costs, I want to tell you guys that this is not an actual overall cost of my sim rig and my equipment. Of course, that would hike the price up even more, but this is just what I've spent on the platform. iRacing can be played with a controller if you really want to. I wouldn't recommend it, but of course there are entry-level wheels for £150 or dollars, $200, pounds as well. So yes, other currencies available as well, guys. But yeah, it can be played with any level of equipment. So the real thing here is how much we've spent on iRacing, the platform. So let's head into those first costs. Now, iRacing is split really into just two primary costs: your subscription and your content, which is formed out of your tracks and your cars. Now, if I've calculated this correctly, and I hope I have, there are 120 cars in total across all of the formulas available to us in racing. So the oval, the dirt, the rallycross, the open wheel, the roadsides, all of those total to 120 cars. And tracks, there are 129, likewise across all formulas. Now, I've got 67 cars that I currently own. Now, some of them I've purchased, well, a lot of them I've purchased, and a proportion of them are free content as well, that originally was free when I first joined all the way back in 2018, and some of it has been made free content since. The tracks, likewise, the same as well, but I own 65 out of the 129 tracks that are available. So if you calculate that, that is, I own 56% of the cars that are currently available on iRacing, and I own 50% of the tracks. That's quite a high percentage. Not gonna lie. So yeah, that is in the course of my time over on iRacing. So let's break that percentage down into actual costs. So in 2018, that is when I started my iRacing career. I signed up originally for a 3-month offer for new signups, and I did one renewal before the end of the year. So I spent $57 just over for my subscription in that year. And then the content side of things, I bought a couple of cars and I bought a few tracks to go with that as well. I think it was the Skip Barber and the Ferrari GT3. This isn't going to be a breakdown of the actual content that I purchased, just the cost of it overall. And it's grouped together in regards to that, in regards to your content purchases. So I spent $50 there as well, just over in regards to the content. So for 2018, for something that I then kind of put to the side and then didn't pick up sim racing again until the middle of 2019. I spent just over $107. So yeah, I did get enjoyment out of it then, but I can't remember exactly why, but just put it to the side and didn't pick it up again until the middle of the following year. And so we pick it up again in the middle of 2019, in June to be exact, is when I renewed my membership. And this is where things get a little bit spendy. In the space of 6 months, I renewed all the way to the end of the year. So I spent $93 just over in regards to subscription renewals. I didn't take any of the 3-month offers or the year offer. I just did the standard monthly renewal, just spreading my costs that way. And then the content, guys. I don't know what happened to me in 2019. I can't remember if I got a promotion or I changed job or something, because I spent $403 in regards to content that year. Yeah, not really sure what came out in 2019. I can't remember. I think I was chopping and changing in regards to series that I wanted to participate in, which is when the price starts to spiral in iRacing. If you stick to a particular series and just concentrate on one car or a couple of cars, and then the tracks in each month in that series, then you can spread the cost nicely. But yeah, this here I got a little bit spend happy. So yeah, that was an expensive month, and this is when iRacing can get expensive, and this is where the criticisms come in of it. But if you budget it correctly and you just pay that monthly subscription, or you buy 3 months up front, or even a year if you know you're gonna commit for a year, although a year's a long time and a lot of money to put front up, then stick to the one series, pick one car, and then you can budget the track, see the track schedule and budget for the tracks that are in the calendar for that month. Treat it as like a treat on payday. You only end up then paying $40 to $50 for that 1 month, and it's like as if you was buying a brand new PlayStation game or PC game or whatever for that month, which a lot of people do. So if you think of it that way, once you've got the content, then you never have to purchase it again, and once it comes around next season, you don't have any costs to bear other than just a renewal of the subscription. But yes, so 2019 was a very expensive month, and you can quite clearly see that I was full in the swing of the sim racing bubble, and iRacing in particular. And then we head into 2020, where of course we all know what happened and remember it not so fondly in regards to COVID and lockdowns. One thing that was a positive out of those times was that sim racing really did get a boom in regards to everyone just being at home for so long and not being able to do anything else. For me personally, I spent most of my time creating videos. That's really when I got into the content creation side of things, and is why the channel is where it is today. But yeah, this was the year that I spent a lot of money as well, because couldn't really go out and spend it on anything else. So this was the first year that I renewed every single month of the year. So I spent $184 in regards to renewal, still paying monthly. I just didn't get around to buying the 3 months or buying a year. Maybe I should have done. I just didn't want to part with my money that way. And then the content side. Well, of course, there was more content that came out in this year in regards to iRacing. I feel like this is when they really did capitalise on people being at home, and all the F1 drivers being on the platform as well. And they released some real good content. Now, of course, during this period, I've already now purchased a number of the tracks. So once I've got them, I don't need to buy them anymore. So my spend did come down, but there was more cars, there was new tracks that were released, and there's little peaks throughout the year when you get to the end of the seasons, which is when iRacing releases their brand new content. So yeah, you see that throughout the year, I think about 3 or 4 times, which is how many seasons we have in iRacing throughout a year. But it did come down in regards to the overall spend of the content. I spent just over $287, but because it was a full year of subscription, that brings my total spend in 2020 to $471. So yes, a bit of a trend forming. Of course, spend happy in 2019 and a shorter period of time, 2020. The cost has been spread over the course of the year. Content has come down. And I believe at this time now as well, I am receiving discounts from iRacing for having owned a certain level of percentage of their content. So when you own most of their content, you get quite a hefty discount on anything you then purchase there on out. So it's 2021, and once again I have renewed my subscription every single month of the year, just spreading my costs over the course of the year rather than buying a bulk subscription. So I spent $177, a little bit less than previous because I got a discount on one of the months due to using iRacing credits, which I gained from participation bonus. And then the content side. Well, I now own a lot of the content on iRacing. I'm benefiting from those discounts that they provided me for owning that level of content, and I spent $135. So that's come down dramatically, but only because I've spent so much in 2019 and 2020. So a little bittersweet, and it gives me an overall spend in that year of $313. And then if we head up to 2022, where once again, my subscription, I have spread the cost over the year, but because I've gained participation credits and some people have used my code in regards to sign-ups, I've gained some credits that have allowed me to use that towards my subscription. So I got a few months free, and my spend for this year in subscription is $128. And then my content, well, I now own the majority of the content that I want to race, which is on the road side of things. So my spend for content this year has come down to $84. I've only pretty much bought stuff when it's been brand new content released by iRacing at the end of the season. So that brings my overall spend in 2022 to $212. But as we said just a minute ago in regards to 2021, the only reason that's come down is because I own so much content already. So yes, there is a definite progression to spending less on iRacing, but that's only because you've spent so much in it already. But let's total up all of these figures over the years I've been on the platform, and yeah, let's get that headline figure, shall we, and see how much we've spent overall. And drum roll. Our final figure is $1,602, just over, for the 3.5 years that I have spent on iRacing. Whew, that is a hefty figure there, guys. That is a lot more than I thought I had spent. When I broke down these figures and I added them all up, yeah, I was a little bit taken aback by that. It's crazy how it racks up quite quickly. Of course, 3.5 years is a long time, but then it's also not a long time. But yes, I see why people, of course, have their reservations about iRacing and their criticisms of them. But if you break it down, I've been on this platform actively for 49 months. You divide that number there, $1,602, by 49 months, or by 49. That gives you a figure of $32, just over, $32.69. And that, to me, is pretty good. That's a pretty good split there per month. That is considerably cheaper than if you was buying a brand new game every single month. As we know now, story-driven games like God of War or Elden Ring. Yes, I mean, Elden Ring is an exception because you get so many hours out of that game, but something story-driven like God of War, people complete that in a couple of days, and they spend $50, $60 on it. You look at the games like Fortnite and Call of Duty, where you're continually pumping money into these live service games now, where it's not just that one-off purchase, or even if it's a free game to start off with, you're then racking up skins, camouflages, and all these added extras to increase your enjoyment of the game and longevity of enjoyment of the game. And iRacing is no different. I don't begrudge paying that monthly subscription fee per month and buying new content when it comes out. Of course, getting to that point of where you've got the majority of the content is expensive. I wouldn't do it the way I've done it. I got a little bit spend happy. I wanted to try this, try that, buy this track, buy that track. Oh, I like that car. Let me give that car a go. But yes, iRacing to me, I think it's worth the money. It is the best all-round sim racing platform there is, especially if you want competitive online racing. There is nowhere else better. Others have tried, but they still haven't been able to hold a candle to what iRacing can provide. And they are continuing to improve their service. There's still a lot of things that I would like to see improved, so hopefully that comes in the future. But yes, they are definitely pumping that money back into the platform and not just keeping it for themselves, which is always good to see as well, because you don't begrudge paying out for certain content and, of course, the subscription renewal each month. But yes, I hope that was a sufficient breakdown for you guys there. Just gives you an overview of what I spent. Look, in the day, we're very nosy. We like to know what everyone else spends. I have spent maybe a bit more than others and probably a lot less than others as well. I still haven't touched the oval side of things. I haven't touched the dirt track side. God forbid if I was into oval racing as well, I would probably have, this figure probably could have doubled with all the oval content that is rich over there as well for purchase. So yeah, that's not equipment related, this video, guys. Purely iRacing. Of course, equipment then bumps that figure up even more. But once again, you can enjoy iRacing on a controller if you want to. It's not recommended, but it doesn't cost a lot of money up front necessarily to get involved in iRacing. You just have to be smart about it and budget correctly. But yeah, I hope that gave you a bit of insight into my iRacing career and how much I've spent. It's just interesting to know how the money can rack up quite quickly, and how in the time you don't necessarily know what it is you're spending your money on. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was insightful. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button, turn those notifications on. We will be doing our best and worst top 5 purchases in iRacing very soon. So yeah, be sure to keep an eye out on those. But see you all guys for the next one. Bye.